Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome to the new season! Yep, season 15 has begun, Hidden Gems. So let me know what your goals are for this season. Are you going to push for Expert, Veteran? Do you just want to get to rank 20? Whatever you want to get to is okay by me, and that's awesome. So for the team I am using, I started off with Noctowl with double MUDBOIS. So Mudbomb did receive a boost. It does more damage now, and Quagsire now has access to it. Now, I am using the regular Quagsire. I do think the Shadow one is better, but I'm using the regular one just because the Shadow ones I have are just really, really bad. And, I mean, this is not a good one either. The IVs look okay, but it's not. So for some reason I throw Stone Edge here. I don't know why, but I was thinking Flygon was a flying type. It's fly in its name. I don't know. Obviously you want to throw Mud Bomb there, but that's totally fine. Some of these early battles could be wild, right? You see a lot of different Pokemon, and that's totally cool. A lot of different battlers joining the mix, so you love to see it. Definitely check out my next video when it comes up. Should be up probably later today. Definitely check it out because I went 14-1 at rank like 4, 5, 6, which is actually pretty high at the time. That team I liked a lot more than this one, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just trying out double Mud and ended up working pretty well. But again, these are just early battles, of course. So a lot of super unique Pokemon. I'm gonna shield that. It is a Sky Attack. I'm going to overfarm. This is a Steel Wing Skarmory, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the Blizzard right now. So the Blizzard will be enough to KO at this health. So very nice indeed. A Minun comes in. I actually think that has Grass Knot, to be honest. So a little bit scary in a way there, but that's okay. I'm going to be able to go for this Mud Bomb. Not enough to KO. I'm going to be able to get to another one. My opponent actually makes a good catch, so shout out to my opponent for that. But that's fine. I will be able to KO. And then Minun is coming in, and I'm just going to switch. I tried to catch a Grass Knot. I don't know if they're running Grass Knot, but either way, a good game, even if, I would have been fine regardless. But let's move on to the next one. Noctowl into Altaria. Okay, so we do have an Altaria in the lead from my opponent. Kind of tricky. The back line does have play against it because of the Stone Edge from Quagsire and because of the Blizzard from Wishcash, right? So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sky Attack. I think I just stay in here, at least for now. My opponent does get off an attack. I'm going to go ahead and shield it. If there's a grass type in the back, I do want to keep this Noctowl alive. My opponent does throw the Dazzling Gleam, and they maybe make an attempted catch. I don't know, but they bring in Flareon, and you absolutely love to see fire types with Wishcash and with Quagsire. Backline absolutely loves it. Whether it's the Flareon, which we see now, or whether it's like the Alolan Marowak, which I do battle. This whole team loves the Alolan Marowak, by the way. Yeah, the grass line, obviously a grass type, going to be strong against the back line, but Noctowl is going to do well against that. We see a Victreebel, but it actually has Acid, which is better for me. I'm going to go ahead and bait here. I don't think they shield, but that's fine. Yeah, they don't shield. So an Acid one, but even if they had, let's say they did have Razor Leaf, they would have been able to, take out my Wishcash, but then I would have been able to bring in the Noctowl. It would have been fine. But either way, I'm going to just let this go. It's a Sludge Bomb, so it doesn't KO. I bring in the Noctowl. My opponent is going to go ahead and switch into that Altaria. Totally fine. I can go ahead and go for my Sky Attack right now. That will be enough to KO, and I have another Sky Attack that would KO that Victreebel. And that's going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Noctowl into Hoot Hoot. We have the Evolution versus the Pre-Evolution. Great matchup for me. My opponent will concede. Good game. Maybe they just wanted to get Stardust or something. I don't know. But let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Noctowl into Toxicroak. Okay. Pretty good for me. The backline, of course, with the Mud Bomb looking pretty good. So Hypno coming in. I do have to be careful because I know it has Thunder Punch. Obviously, Noctowl really doesn't want... I mean, it could take a Thunder Punch, but... I don't really want to. I do switch out maybe to see if I can catch one. I don't catch it, but that's okay. My opponent does throw an attack, and I do shield it. I was actually concerned about the Focus Blast, and I wasn't really thinking that they would have it. I was thinking maybe Shadow Ball, but it is a Focus Blast, so that is really good for me. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Mud Bomb right now. This Mud Bomb will connect, and I throw the Blizzard. I decided to throw the Blizzard because I know that a Mud Bomb will not KO, whereas a Blizzard will. And I know my opponent knows that, so I'm thinking they won't shield, and my opponent does not shield. They let it go. And I thought my opponent would think that I was throwing the Mud Bomb. Toxicroak coming in, but Toxicroak is a poison type, so it is weak to Mud Bomb. Making sure they don't catch by overfarming one. My opponent does not catch. and Mud Bomb will pick up the shield. Now I bring in the Noctowl. I'm going to go ahead and take it. I could definitely take a Sludge Bomb. I could take a Dynamic Punch if the Toxicroak has it. It is Sludge Bomb indeed. My opponent actually does catch into that Alolan Marowak that I was telling you about, but this whole team absolutely loves Alolan Marowak, right? That was a good catch. I can't get off the Shadow Ball now, but that is okay because, yeah, basically just need a Mud Bomb. Actually, I'm not sure if Mud Bomb would KO from that range. From a Shadow, it definitely would if you had the Shadow Quack. So I do recommend the Shadow one. Okay, moving on. We do have an Umbreon from my opponent in the lead. I'm going to go ahead and safe swap Lord, a possible Grass type if my opponent has one. Umbreon is tough just because it's so tanky. That's why it's tough. I mean, it's not like we don't have any play against it. It's just so tanky. It could take up these... it could just take these attacks. So I do get off the Mud Bomb. We do actually pick up the shield, which is nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw another Mud Bomb. My opponent didn't have the shield there, but I don't know. Maybe they were concerned about the Stone Edge. But either way, going to go ahead and take this attack. I'm okay with losing this matchup. I'm assuming there's no Grass type in the back because my opponent didn't switch out, and there's actually a Noctowl. So I'm going to be able to throw my Stone Edge attack into it. Super effective. Not going to be enough to KO, but that's okay. I could bring in my own Noctowl. Now, I have a really good IV1. And I should have I mean, I knew it, but like, I should have, I guess, maybe not thrown right away. I knew they would win CMP because of how good my IVs are on Noctowl. My IVs are terrible on Whiscash, and even the Quagsire, but definitely really bad on the Whiscash. I do have a rank 2 Whiscash, I just didn't build it yet. But this season is probably the season to build it because it's better now. So I do take that Foul Play, not going to use any shield, and I do get off my Sky Attack. So the Sky Attack is coming out. And very nice indeed. Can I make it to another one? Unfortunately not. I think I wanted to catch, but I'm going to just go ahead and throw up a shield right now. Going to be a Foul Play. And out comes Salazzle. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sky Attack, hoping to get a shield from my opponent. That's why I threw the Sky Attack. I do get the shield, and now I can go into Whiscash. And Salazzle is so glassy. They do get off an attack. I'm like, you know what? I could take any attack. You know, Dragon Pulse, it is a Dragon Pulse, but I can still take it. Does a good amount of damage, but no problem. I'm going to go ahead and charge up for 2. I have 2 Mud Bombs right now. I'm going to go ahead and throw 1. This will be enough to KO that Salazzle. And now Umbreon is coming in, and this Mud Bomb will be enough to KO that Umbreon. And that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. Yeah, we do see, obviously, newer trainers with newer Pokemon like the Flareon. Pokemon we don't see too often, but that's totally fine. You love to see it, right? You love all the new battlers. You know, we welcome them. But anyway, that's going to be a 5-0 to start things off. I'm going to go ahead and jump into another set. So going to be the Noctowl into the Medicham. Looking pretty good for me. I mean, this is kind of like, not the greatest, but it's okay. But out comes Altaria. So a Stone Edge from Quagsire will not one-shot, so I wanted to get this off first before going into Quagsire. I could have went into Whiscash, but if they, this shielding Blizzard is not great for me. My opponent does get off an attack, and Sky Attack, that's fine. And I do throw the Stone Edge. There's an argument to be made that you could bait here, but if they call the bait, that's, it's a terrible situation, so I'm not going to bait there. Can I make it to another Stone Edge? Unfortunately not. I can if I shield, so the good thing about this is at least, you know, Whiscash, it's not like it does terrible against Medicham, so I'm going to go ahead and get off this Stone Edge, and this will be enough to KO or get a shield, and my opponent will shield because they do want to win Switch, which makes sense. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Noctowl. So Noctowl is coming in. A Sky Attack will be enough to knock out. My opponent does get to an attack, but yeah, I mean, that Medicham will be a little bit difficult to... It's actually dazzlingly difficult to deal with, but we actually see a switch. So I bring in my Whiscash right now. So my opponent is going to go ahead and get off an attack. I do shield it. It could be Brave, but it's actually a Flash Cannon, so I definitely could have taken that. I was not expecting Flash Cannon. Honestly, I was expecting Sky Attack, so I guess I didn't have to shield it. But either way, I do get off my Blizzard. And now I overform a little bit too much because I allow my opponent to get to another move, which is not ideal for me. Not looking good, to be honest. But I do have 2 attacks here. They still have a full health, you know, a healthy Medicham, which is not great. I do KO that. Yeah, I can't get to a Blizzard, and I'm going to lose that one. So that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Good luck to you, my friend. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. Noctowl into a Alolan Ninetales. Okay. If it has charm, it is better for me, and it does have charm. It's still not great. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this Sky Attack, see if what my opponent wants to do. If they want to shield this, they do not shield this. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into Wish Cash. My opponent switches into Swamp It. Okay. Okay. So Swamp It is really good. Swamp It's good every season. So it's not like Swamp It was buffed. It's just good. I guess it was technically buffed because Trevenant was nerfed, so that helps Swamp It a little bit, but it's still obviously really good. Hydro Cannon will do a lot. It will not KO. Will my opponent decide to shield this one? If they don't, they'll get very low, possibly even get KO'd, so they do shield that. And I think I shield just so I can get off my attack. And I do, in fact, shield. And I'm going to be able to get off my Mud Bomb. So let's see if my opponent decides to shield this or not. And my opponent does decide to shield it. I'm going to throw my Mud Bomb. Now, they throw on CMP. I don't know if that's intentional. But because it was on CMP, I could shield this and get off my Mud Bomb and take Switch. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be able to win Switch there and KO that Swamp It. You'll love to see it. And now out comes the Ninetales. I cannot make it to another move, but that is okay. At least my Noctowl does not have to worry about that Weather Ball, right? So I'm going to be hit with this attack. It's going to be Weather Ball. That's fine. I can take it. Out comes Sand Slash. Ooh, you love getting off these Mud Bomb attacks with Quagsire. Super effective damage. One more will be enough to KO. My opponent actually gets to an attack, which makes sense, but I survive. I survived the Ice Punch, and I knew it was an Ice Punch. And I still get off this attack. And then I could switch, because the thing is, Noctowl can survive a Weather Ball. So I'm going to switch into Noctowl, and my opponent does have a Weather Ball, so they're going to be able to throw it. But as I said, I do survive it. But do I survive the incoming Charm? I do survive that Charm, and I do get to a move. So very close game, but I'm still going to be able to take it. You'll love to see it. Good game. Really well played to my opponent. I'm going to be able to take that game. Okay, moving on. Noctowl into Wigglytuff. Okay, Wigglytuff is the one that got buffed, right? It got, what was that, Clefable? I have to double check. But either way, this Wigglytuff has Charm. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sky Attack. Usually you got to pivot at some point if it's a neutral matchup, because you never know if they have a Grass type in the back. My opponent is staying in, still going for Charms. I do get off this Mud Bomb. Very nice indeed. Let's see if my opponent decides to shield it. My opponent does decide to shield it. Out comes Swamp It, okay. So I could take a Hydro Cannon, and I'm going to go ahead and do just that, but it's actually Muddy Water. Now, I remember that. I remember counting to 4, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss one? I might have missed one. That doesn't feel like a Hydro Cannon, but I thought maybe I missed one on the switch-in, but no, it's just a Muddy Water. And actually, I can't speak, but I could actually take another Muddy Water, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. So I do get off my attack with Wish Cash. Very nice indeed. My opponent will shield it, but my opponent is down 2 shields. They cannot farm me down. I actually shield this Muddy Water because I know it's CMP, and I know I'm going to be able to get off my Mud Bomb and KO the Swamp It. So that's really good for me. The Swamp It is going down. We know there's a Wigglytuff in the back. There's also, when I saw the typing, I assumed Altaria, but it's actually a Salamence. And Stone Edge is just going to KO this Salamence. So I'm not going to overthrow. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it. And very cool to see Salamence. I would love Salamence to become meta, to be honest. I love Salamence. And yeah, I could just get to this Mud Bomb and take this game. And that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. Very spicy. You love to see the Salamence. And yeah, my opponent actually concedes that game. So good game. Well played to them. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. I have my Noctowl. My opponent has Dragonite. Okay. Alright, I guess we could just chill here, stay in, right? Throw Sky Attacks. I mean, Dragonite is so frail in the Great League, it's not even funny. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Sky Attack. I thought they would shield, but they don't. So what I could do here is shield this, because I want to stay healthy. Again, in case they have a Grass type, I want to stay healthy, and I want to get rid of this Dragonite, and I'm going to be able to do just that. So out comes an Electric type. I immediately switch. Not the best Electric type to see, because it is a Flying type as well. Blizzard can handle it, but still. Thunderbolt is going to connect. I'm actually going to go ahead and bait here. My opponent actually calls it. So I do go for the Mud Bomb. Crazy good call by my opponent, but I guess the Mud Bomb, maybe it was predictable that you'd go for Mud Bomb, but I'm going to be able to go for just another Mud Bomb. My opponent will know this is a Mud Bomb, but I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And okay, I don't really have to worry about Zapdos too much anymore. I actually get to another one. So if they don't shield, this will be enough to KO. And they do shield, so I'm totally fine with letting this go. It actually doesn't KO if it's a Thunderbolt. And it is a Thunderbolt, but they might be able to farm me down. That is they're not able to. I do get to a move. That's Charge Beam, by the way, on Zapdos. So I do get to a Mud Bomb, and they let it go. What's in the back? I switch immediately. And it's a Mew with Waterfall. Now, technically, Mew can have, I think it's Grass Knot. Does it have access to Energy Ball? I don't know. I know it has Grass moves. I think it's Grass Knot. So, technically, it could have it. It probably doesn't, but in theory, it could. So, I'm going to go ahead and go for another attack into that Mew. But I'm looking really good. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I decided to shield. I could have let it go and bring in Noctowl, but I just go ahead and shield it. It's a Psychic, actually. And I do indeed get to this Mud Bomb. Very nice. Very nice. So this Mud Bomb will be enough to KO that Mew. And that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent there. And I'm going to be able to take that one. So unique moveset on Mew, but very cool nonetheless. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. I want to say this is the final battle. Going up against a Decidueye. Decidueye does have Leafage, a Pokemon I want to try. Great lead for me. Oh, my opponent brings in the Alolan Sandslash. You love to see it. I do bring in my Wish Cash. Could have brought in the Quagsire. I bring in the Wish Cash. They go for Drill Run. I want to say Ice Punch is more energy efficient there, but if I'm wrong, let me know. It's got to be, right? But I go for the Mud Bomb. Not enough to KO. I'm just going to go for another one. Because I feel like if my opponent gets to another attack, it KOs me or comes close. I don't want that to happen, so I just want to take Switch. Yes, I know they'll get farmed with the Decidueye. That animation is so cool, by the way. But that's fine. I could bring in my Noctowl, and I still have alignment I wanted. I do have to watch out for Brave Bird, but Dewgong is in the back, so double ice. I do go ahead and bring in my Quagsire right now. My opponent going to go ahead and go for an attack. I'm going to go ahead and let it go. I know what it's going to be. It's going to be an icy win. So I am debuffed, but I do go ahead and bait because my opponent has 2 shields. They probably want to shield this. That's what I'm thinking, and my opponent does shield it. Very nice. So now I'm going to go ahead and go for the Stone Edge. I still think my opponent will shield, but I don't think it's worth the bait. I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And my opponent does, in fact, shield that. But I do have 2 shields. I'm going to go ahead and shield this. My opponent cannot shield another attack from me. And I do get it off. I am double debuffed, but it is what it is. Keeping a shield, I kind of want to keep a shield. I actually switched into Noctowl right away because I knew I was close to the Sky Attack. My opponent switches right away as well. I decided to take it. I thought it would be Brave Bird, but I knew I would survive it. And my opponent, I thought they quit, they did not, but I charge up to 2 Sky Attacks. One to take out the Decidueye, and another one to take out the Dewgong. And yeah, this could be a great game. A lot of new Pokemon I want to try with Liquidation, as well as the Leafage as well. So Decidueye is on my list. But anyway, great games to all of my opponents. Definitely check out the next video as well, because I use a team that I go 14-1 with. At rank, as I mentioned earlier, at rank 4, 5, 6, did really well with it. Really high-level players as well, and it's just such a great team. But you'll see that in the next video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.